This is the Iron Man of IT from the ConTechCrew podcast, and we're continuing our coverage of Autodesk 2018, and we're live on the exhibit hall floor. And I have a special guest with me today, Michael Bellerman of the ABC. Michael, how are you?
I'm fantastic. It's great to be here at Autodesk University. Unbelievable. The technology, the disruptive technology, the opportunities for our industry are phenomenal. So happy to be here.
It's great of you to join us. So why don't you tell everybody that's listening, I just called it the ABC. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the association and what you guys are up to?
Yeah, so the Associated Builders and Contractors, we got 20,000 members across the country. And what we do is we help our members develop their people. We help them win work. And we help them deliver that work safely, ethically, and profitably for the betterment of the communities that they work within. We employ a ton of people. We believe in the merit shop philosophy. We love innovation. We love creating value. And that's one thing we're excited about, bringing a lot of our leadership over to the show today to see what's going on in breakthrough technologies.
Well, I'm sure you're seeing a lot across here, and I know it's got to affect a lot of your members. And when we're here, we're thinking a lot about these large contractors is what people think about. Yeah. But really, you and I were just talking about this. 97% of the industry isn't that large, right? It's 97% has less than 100 employees. They're really out there getting the job done, but they're much smaller. And how do they feel about this technology right now?
Well, honestly, they feel overwhelmed. I remember when I came into the ABC in my current role about 7 years ago, we had the conversation about disruptive technologies, building information modeling. Quite honestly, they were very, very overwhelmed. As you indicated, 97% of the construction industry or construction companies employ less than 100 people. Those same companies deliver 71% of the work. So $1.3 trillion worth of spend, and they employ 67% of the industry. So they play a significant role. And when you're in that kind of a small business situation, to make that kind of capital investment is a big step. So the easier technology gets is great. But one thing that's going on in the industry right now that is really cool, well, it's kind of unfortunate, but it makes it cool from a technology and innovation perspective is, we've got a workforce challenge. With the Great Recession, we lost a couple million people. So we're trying to recover from that. And it is essentially at crisis mode. It's the number one constraint for our members' growth. As a matter of fact, we just had a board meeting. We have a 180-person board, which are all the leaders in the industry of these kind of companies, both large and small, and only 3% said that they're going to be scaling back workforce over the next 6 months. So that means everybody else is growing. Only 6% said it was going to be easier to find people over the next 6 months. So 94% feel this constraint. So what's stepping in to solve the day? Technology, innovation. All this kind of thing that's going on here. That's why we've got them over here taking a look to see how they can adopt technology, innovate, and create more value for their business.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of that. And as sort of this ongoing theme throughout Autodesk University has been the skills gap. It has been recruiting people. It has been actually making them more efficient and effective. We're not taking jobs away. We're making the repetitive jobs go away, and we're allowing people to do what they're really good at and be creative in the environment through our automated tools, through our efficient technologies. So there's another piece there too in that skills gap that you and I were just talking about, and it's been another theme at Autodesk, which is there's a project out there called Hard-Hatted Woman by Lorian Barlow, highlighting the women in construction, and specifically the women in trades. And I thought it was interesting. The ABC and you have some good stories around what you're experiencing with that.
Yeah, absolutely. We actually joined and made a pledge to the American workforce in our industry to educate and upskill 500,000 workers over the next 5 years. We did that with President Trump and this administration. And what we're trying to do is we have a three-pronged strategy. It's get them in, get them educated, and give them a dream. So what we're trying to do is make our industry very, very attractive to all walks of life. And women is a big opportunity for us. We've got so many great stories with women achieving their career dreams in our industry. Mitty Cannon, she founded a group called Power Up, which is a mother-daughter thing to try to get their high school kids, women, interested in careers in construction. Lots of great opportunities. We've got so many fantastic stories of women that are in the construction industry that are leaders within our industry. Started out to learn a craft, came in, and have excelled, and we've given an opportunity to achieve their career dream.
That's so incredible that you're not only going after the daughters, but the mothers, showing them that this is a viable path to a great future. And with all of this technology around, it's a really different landscape than when we started it. I'd also like to hear a little bit about you mentioned this a second ago, the leadership. You give them a dream, right? I think that's one thing we miss in this industry so much is we need our leaders to shoot a moonshot, is what we refer to it in the technology space, and have been kind of circulating. Why do you think that moonshot or that leadership is so important?
Well, it's critical. Listen, we got to stop looking at construction as just a job, and we got to look at it as the dream. We mentioned earlier the fragmentation of the industry, the barrier of entry to our industry is quite low, but the opportunity is extreme. So we had a story with a gentleman in California that was on national news that told his story where he came in, learned how to be an electrician, graduated, became a journeyman. 1 year later, he starts his own construction company, his own electrical company, and now he's an entrepreneur employing people. Now, that is the American dream, right? And that's what happens here in the United States of America in the construction industry. We just got to do a better job of telling that story. I think it's the best kept secret in our country.
Yeah, it's unfortunately the best kept secret. We had some folks on the show yesterday, and we were talking about how like the Army and the Navy has undergone these, they're really marketing campaigns. And I think our industry, the construction industry, needs a campaign like that to just change its view.
Well, actually, this administration is all over it. If you pay attention, Ivanka Trump is a big leader of expanding apprenticeships in the country, not only in construction, but also in manufacturing. The president issued an executive order to expand apprenticeships. I happen to get the honor to sit on that advisory board. We came up with a report, and it's really a lot about promoting industry, recognized apprenticeship programs, promoting careers in technical education. A lot of our components flowed through into the Perkins reauthorization that was enacted this year, as well as it flowed into the Prosper Act. So the good news is there's a lot of eyes on this and there's a lot of attention. So I think what we've done is we've shifted the paradigm. Here's the deal. When I was in 8th grade, I got shop class. I learned how to weld. I learned how to bend steel. I learned how to lathe wood. Then in 9th grade, I had drafting class. That's when I fell in love with the construction industry. We've removed that. And then we give guidance counselors only college materials. So, no wonder it's a big secret. So that shift is occurring with the Department of Education, Department of Labor, Department of Commerce, and the White House. So it's really a lot of fun.
It's really a lot of fun. It's really moving the industry forward. You guys are doing a ton of great work. Michael, I really want to thank you for joining me today. It has been a real pleasure to meet you and get to talk to you. I'm sure we'll talk a little bit more. But folks out there, I wanted to remind you, this is the Iron Man of IT from the ConTechCrew podcast, continuing our live coverage at Autodesk 2018. Remember, construction starts here.